BD's World, changing your mindset.
Branding is personal identity we place on ourselves without knowing it as an individual. So how are you branding yourself? It's very, very important for everyone alive. Good to have you on another edition of your weekly TV talk show, BD's World. It's my pleasure to have you join us this week. A quick break, I'll be right back.
Fatima Ali Mohammed is a Kenyan, the Chief Executive Officer of African Brand Warrior. She sits on the Association of Ghana Industries as the Vice Chairman of the Agriculture Sector and a member of the International Trade Committee. She is an advocate for Africa and African brands with a solid background across Africa that leads her to change from boots to heels. Fatima is a thought leader in strategy, marketing and brand development, consumer relationship and insight, NPD and communication. She was the general manager commercial for Wilma in both the palm and shea industry in West Africa after being transferred from Bidco, Uganda, and has been representing the industries in various positions and boards. Fatima is known for creating and rebranding brands in West and Southern Africa that are all in the #1 position in the markets they competed and continue to compete in. She has been the chairperson of the Market Society of Kenya, founder Marketing Society of Tanzania and Uganda, the vice president Chartered Institute of Kenya, governor of the Kenyan Private Sector Alliance, member of the Brand Kenya Startup Team. Fatima was honored with the Top 50 CMOs Global Award and Top 100 Most Talented Marketers Global Award for her marketing achievements on brands in Africa. She is an avid writer and an astute speaker. Fatima Mohammed, our guest on BD's World this week.
Thank you very
Fatima,
much. Thank
it's
you.
good to have you on BD's
Thank
World.
you. Thank
wow, always looking beautiful.
Thank you.
I like your
Don't
nose.
we all? I know. I don't know what's with my nose, but everybody seems to like it. I think it's too pointed.
Are you an African?
Totally.
Serious, you don't look it.
100% Kenyan and totally African.
Wow, that's good.
Yes,
That's
thank
good.
you.
You know, this one that believe in women, personal branding. Let me just not go to women. You benefit so much in personal branding. Why are you so passionate about personal branding, and how does it affect our personal life and our achievements on earth?
Well, basically, my background's marketing and branding in total. Personal branding becomes a part of it because I think a lot of times people have considered branding to be more about products. You know, whether it's a bottle of water, it's a soft drink, you know, it's biscuits, but nobody has looked at it from the angle of you know, as human beings, are we a brand? And I try to tell people, look at people like Steve Jobs, the Oprah Winfreys, the, you know, Trump, you know, as well. There's a difference between having a positive and a negative. And most of the times people don't realize the way they speak, the way they dress, the way they talk has an impact in terms of their branding, which then could actually not match with who they truly are. So what they say, if it's a mismatch with the kind of audience they're supposed to be speaking to or in the way they dress, it actually can be very detrimental in their success. So it's very, very important for humans to also realize that they are a walking, breathing, live brand.
A walking, breathing life brand. Now, going back to African as a nation, we have women, so many women who don't even believe in themselves. We have a lot of people who say she's just a woman. We have this mentality in the African continent who say let's make to look at women as sex objects. Now it's affecting the continent, it's affecting the women. Basically, what do you have to say about this, and how can we change this?
I really don't think it's an issue that only is external. I think women are also responsible for themselves to be identified in that way. I mean, when women choose to dress in an indecent manner and yet they're going to be walking into a professional environment, how do you want them to be treated seriously? You know, if you do not respect yourself and your body, there's no way you can also be respected. So personal branding is about how do you want to be considered. If you're going to be looking at wanting to be the future president of a country, walking in hot pants and having your cleavage being visible is definitely not going to take you there, because people are not going to look at you seriously. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong dressing in that way, but you have to always identify who's your audience, what is it that you want to set as a tone for yourself, and you go in that way. So first and foremost, that whole aspect that women are seen as sex objects, a lot of times, yes, that has always been there. It has been there from time immemorial. It is not right. But at the same time, we also have to look at it as women. What is it that we're doing to contribute to that being rubber stamped as a truth?
Talking about the way women dress, sorry, I might take you in the other way around. We still have in our society where we see men differ, little children, minors differ old women, because it's not about their dressing. It's still the mindset thing.
No, so I think we need to be, it's a very broad subject.
Yeah.
And that's why if we talk about branding here I'm talking specifically in terms of your dress code.
Yeah.
Defiling and all that has no relevance to branding. That is a cultural issue. A man going to defile a child has nothing to do with, it's more to do with his morals and values. But at the same time, those morals and values also come out of a brand. What does that man see himself to be? Does he consider himself worthy of being called a man? Has he branded himself to be a gentleman? If he hasn't, then those are the kind of things, that will be going around. The whole issue about children being defiled is a mentality of a totally sick mind. It's got nothing to do with the branding, no matter what. Rape, even if you dressed in the holiest of outfits, you could still be raped. It's not about that. It's about how do you want to be seen, and how do you carry yourself into that situation? How do the people who are your target audience carry themselves? Because when you present yourself in a very professional manner, you walk the talk. It becomes a little difficult for people to even come within that boundary, because they really don't know what you're made of. And that is why it's so important to understand that personal branding is something that is very key for us on a daily basis.
It's okay. And you another point you pointed out so clearly is about being relevant. Now, in our continent, I'm actually talking from African perspective.
Yes.
Relevance. There's a way we look at our women. We tend to put a stop in our women. So how can a woman in Africa who have the whole ability, who have strength, be relevant in his field, in his office, in everything, being relevant? How can we utilize that?
So one of the things that I mentioned in terms of relevancy was purely I was focusing on the aspect of, if we look at the founder of Amazon, what he said is personal branding is what people will say about you when you leave the room. And I changed it to say personal branding is about what relevant people will say about you when you leave the room. You should not matter to everyone, and everyone should not matter to you. Because if you're going to be so busy trying to make everybody happy and meet everybody's needs and whatever, we're going to disappear. We're not going to exist. You have to choose who are the people that you think you need to appeal to. For example, if you think your career is going to be something in the legal field, you want to be taken in a particular manner, so you ensure that your circle, the kind of people you're going to be with, the kind of events you go to, will help you to get towards that path. If you think it's arts and culture, you get involved in that way and you dress in a particular manner that gets you to be seen in a creative form. So it's all about that. It's about being relevant and not getting yourself too defocused. It's about being focused on what it is you want to achieve. So it's creating a strategy for yourself and then following it through. Hence the relevance that comes in. You don't have to be at every party that gets thrown. You don't have to be invited to every friend's dinner, kitties or whatever. Choose the ones that you think are relevant and the ones that will actually stand for exactly what you stand for.
Fatima, you are such a wonderful woman. I like the name of that your company, Warrior. African brand warrior, and you're indeed a warrior.
Thank you.
You're one who has gone through divorce, gone through medical problems, and you're still standing tall. I respect you so much.
Thank you.
But before you answer that question, let's go for a quick break, and we'll return. We'll continue. Don't get away. We'll be right back.
If this goddamn won't fall, please do leave you.
Wale kwa mwana Nasa po bebe mshot Na fiam na
No chada to the moon. If this goddamn won't fall, please do leave
Bago, pasa upibim shop, man a fiam nazo.
Good to have you back. Just joining us. This is Baby Sword, and my guest today on the show is the CEO of African Brand Warrior. One woman I respect so much is Fatima Alaa Mohammed, and we've been talking about branding, basically focusing on women. Now, Fatima, please tell us, you've gone through some certain issues in life which many women will go through and they will break down, but you're still standing, achieving. Tell us.
The different people who go through different aspects in their journey. Some are better at hiding it, some are still dealing with it, some may be broken, but their time will come for them to be able to stand up. I guess it depends on the gravity of what you've had to go through. And quite frankly, I don't think any of the issues I may have gone through in life have been a challenge or a burden. I see them being the reason to where I am today. Because you only have to go, it's like countries, when they go through civil war, civil strife, only then do they become a better nation. Because, not that I'm condoning or saying that they need to go through civil strife, but I'm giving examples of countries that have actually gone through that. An example is Rwanda, for what it went through. They came together then as a people. So, even if you look at countries that have gone through a lot of civil strife, their people come up with humility. They come back with humbleness. They come back with the zest to want to be better. That's the same thing that happens with human beings. You can, if you continually get told that you can't achieve or you can't do things, then you will remain in there. But you can choose to become an eagle. And I always use this example. I tell people a bird is a bird. So a chicken is a bird and so is an eagle. You can choose to remain to be a chicken on the ground eating shit, or you can be an eagle that flies against the storm above the cloud.
That's what I want to ask you in this your area of issues that you just talked about now. Is that in this part of the world, we were taught to bottle in a lot of things. The one woman I know that you don't bottle things, you let it out. We as women in Africa, we take it, we keep it, bottle it, But inside of a lot of women, you see, so many things is going in, and it's affecting them, it's affecting their productivity.
But I think, quite frankly, it's again, like I go back, it's a cultural issue. But you will be surprised, even those women that you think are bottling it, women are natural talkers. There's a book, it's a fantastic book, it's called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And if you read it, men prefer to go into their cave. So for example, married men don't want women coming talking all the time. They prefer to go into their cave and deal with their issues. You can ask them 100 times what's the problem. They will not tell you because they feel it is something they need to deal with on their own. When they feel they're ready to talk about it, they will. When you look at women, women prefer to talk. So, there have been books, things that have been written on women. What do women want? Women just want to be listened to. They just want to be heard. They just want you to hear them. So, it's just about that. It's not that they're expecting you to give them a solution. Women already know the answers to the problems that they're asking you. It's just that they want somebody to hear them. So we tend to talk. We tend to talk about it. If I'm not talking to you, I'll be talking to a friend of mine. But the issue is that because we don't trust each other as women, that's where the problem comes in. Because you're not sure that where you speak, your weakness is going to be used against you. A lot of times women go through envy. They can talk behind you and say, I really don't like that woman. They don't even know why they don't like you. They don't even have a reason. Maybe they just think you're a little bit more successful, or whatever it is. And then they'll still come talking to you like you're one of their favorite people. But they're not being honest. So I always say, when women are not honest in any way, they're only deceiving themselves. So if you like me, good for you. You don't like me, good for you. Because if you don't like me, you're not among my relevant people anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
We said in Africa, women actually has to be in front for African to get to where it's going to. Now with this insecurity that we talk about, we have women. How do we fight it? How do we reduce it? I know we can stop it so that we can get to where we're going to.
But again, like I keep saying, this is the sad part. Women think they're the only ones with issues. Men are more insecure than women. Women are
Did you hear that?
Are much stronger. Not because not that I think that anyone is far superior to the other. I just think both genders are equal. It's just that because men have a different way to deal with their issues. They have insecurities about, their body. You'll be surprised. When they go to the gym, those kind of things. Women can walk into a gym and be naked in front of another woman and have no insecurities about how they look. A man will take a lot for him to be seen naked in front of another man. And that's why women need to consider themselves as an art. You know, whether we're naked, whether we're clothed, we're used, or magazines in every form, with clothes on, with no clothes, because we are a form of art. Whereas if you were to look a man, you know, nakedly on a magazine cover, you'd think it's a bit unacceptable. But that's because women haven't learned to appreciate themselves. So a complexity issue is more of a mindset. And I think a lot of education has to be done on women to open up their minds. It's about opening their minds. It's not about changing them. It's not about changing their values. It's not about changing their morals. It's about changing their mindset. One of the things that I say, you know, let's not play the card of being the lesser sex, or that women are not empowered, or that women don't get treated fairly. It's not true. If you want to be able to be seen, to be heard, make that effort. You can. And I'm not a feminist. I'm not here to say that we're greater than men. I believe that Adam and Eve were created equally, and we should be able to be supportive of that. And the more that women can understand that, the more the happier, you know, a society we will be. We're not here in competition. We're here to create a better future. If we can make our daughters better, to be able to live in a world where they can be stronger, they can be women of strength. It's not about strong women. Be women of strength, but be women with the right morals and values. Then I think we've created a better society for now and the future. Thank you very much.
Well, you've heard it from Fatima herself, the CEO of African Brand Warrior. She has said it all, that each and every one of us has ever something to bring to the table. Up next is a man who discusses how we can be relevant even to our old age. Stay tuned for the segments.
I work with people in their 70s and 80s who are very alert, who are very capable. Age is never really the factor. What it really makes or break anything, are you still able to give? Are you still be able to produce? So I suggest to everybody is to really work on themselves. So you nurture yourself well, you eat well, you sleep well, you exercise. So as long as you have these as the physical intelligence, and you work on your mind through reading and researching and understanding and knowing, and you build on your emotional intelligence by having healthy, stable relationships, I think that person can continue to produce regardless of the age.
You've said it all, but now it's in achievements. You don't achieve alone. It's a group thing.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? You live in a society whereby the society puts a tag on you. You're an old man. Do you understand? And you're doing all this you listed out. And when you come out there, you want to do, they look down on you, this old man, what is he going to give to us? This old woman, what's she going to do to us? But you inside of you, you know you're able, you're capable. You have something to offer. Look at Obama, the age he retired. Look at the age Trump took over. Do you understand? The gap is there.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, but in our own society, they believe so much in age. So how do we get to our people to change their mentality, to let them know that they don't kill people before their time?
I think it will all come to few people believe in what you are saying and start taking action about it. For example, if you are a business owner and you want to hire someone, and that someone is available regardless of their age, but they're willing to give you the energy, giving you the time, giving you the productivity that you're looking for the salary that you want to pay, what you got to lose? Just take a chance at that person, give them an opportunity, and you never know. Maybe they will surprise you, be beyond surprise. So I think it needs to start with few people who believe in what you are saying and preaching, and they start doing that. And when they do that, they become an example for someone else to do it.
Taking chances, that's another thing. Taking chances.
Yes.
We in Africa, do we actually believe in taking chances? We don't believe in taking chances. An African is an example continent of Nigeria. Let me speak very well what I know. If I'm going into a business, I'm sure of the future of this business. We don't like to take chances. We don't like to take risk. Do you understand? We take calculated risk. So how do we achieve that in that kind of environment?
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with taking calculated risk, but what's really important is to find those few people who believe in what we are talking about. All what it takes is one person to break what we call the norm of the society and go on a limb and say, well, let me take a chance on this person. It doesn't have to be at the national level. It doesn't have to be at an industry level. It can be as simple as one person who would say, you know what, I'm going to try something new. And in that process of trying something new, I may be surprised with some good production, and maybe someone else will do the same thing and so forth. This is how things get spread in society. It doesn't happen all at once, but it happens in a scattered way. And all what it takes is few believers in the concept. I have seen it time and time again that age is never a factor that come in the way of finding talent, developing that talent, and retaining that talent.
When you talk about the woman, one of the best designers in America, and that she's 91 years old, a woman, and she's doing well. Please, could you tell us about that story?
Well, again, the United States are one of those lands that I have noticed that they are non-discriminated against some of the things that maybe we are looking at in other parts of the world. Well, I'm originally from Africa. I came from Egypt, and I know some of the constraints that are put either by that's the way we've always done it, or by the traditions, or by whatever we are accustomed to. But when I went to live in the States, and I've been there for 31 years, it has really been an eye-opener, wonderful experience where you never feel at any given point that there is any weight given for man over woman, or for an older over younger, or younger over older. It's really come down to one thing. Can I do the job? Can I be creative at it? Can I continue to be a productive contributor in the society I'm living in? When you have that mindset used wherever you go, in the United States is a good example of it, it makes it easy for people to try and attempt. So there is this company called IDEO, and IDEO is a firm that produces design products. They are the reason why chairs have 4 legs, TV screens are flat. They design most of these. And what they noticed is an older woman wrote a letter to them saying, I'm 91 years old, but I feel I still got it and I can do some things. So they invited her to come over. They gave her a job. And what she did when she came over, she started designing products for the elder. You know, things that help you to get off the couch, a cane that you can use that is double instead of one, a chair that you can push that gets you from point A to point B. So she has been very successful, but she is leading a team of designers that are 5 and 6 decades younger than her. But she's still very alert, she's still capable, she's still